Oh snap! About to shred some trails in Boise, Idaho. Road tripping Rampage!
It's the riders' day off today here at Rampage. Seeing as the building week is so full on, they all get made to take Sunday off to get some rest. And now we're just going to go and do some shuttle runs with Darren, see what the riders get up to on the day off, basically.
This is like the classic Utah shuttle trail, which is like the most insane shuttle trail on the planet, really. It's completely unique to any other trail because it's essentially a Rampage line that Josh Bender built, the original King Kong. He raced maybe 18 years ago, 19 years ago now. So yeah, pretty stoked.
For these viewers who maybe don't ride bikes or aren't familiar with Rampage or your history, just give us a bit of an insight into who you are, basically.
This is basically not this specific zone that we're having this year's Rampage at, but I discovered this whole zone and brought the world here along with Todd Barber.
So in brief, basically Rampage happened because of you kind of set out to do your own path out here in Utah.
Just spending too much time by yourself out in the desert trying to figure out something fun to do with your time. I moved here back in the late 90s.
How's the build week gone so far?
Build week's gone pretty good. Yeah, we last year I teamed up with T-Mac and a couple of other athletes up on top, so we ended up killing it on our build last year and primarily keeping the same run from last year, so it wasn't a ton of new stuff I was building. I just added a couple extra jumps and made a couple things bigger and better and buffed it all out, just as I didn't really get redemption on my line last year because of the wind and everything else, so I still got a lot to give with that line. So yeah, it definitely liked the load a bunch, having a bunch of stuff already built.
In terms of your build crew, who have you got on your build crew this year?
This year I got Jordy Lund coming back with me.
Viewers, we're just going to catch back up with Jordy Lund, Darren Berrecloth's builder. Jordy,
yeah,
is Darren's build finished?
Yeah, we're more or less just polishing things up now. Yeah, the whole run's pretty dialed in.
He was on the fence whether he was going to ride or not, just because a bunch of people pulled out, and he's like the last, or he's the next person on the alternate list, which is a bit of a bummer for him because, you know, in my opinion, he should be riding, but that's the way she goes. And another buddy, Jason Tarbett, they're both from back home. We all grew up together, so really good crew, and super stoked to have them out there and killing it in the desert.
How many years have you been riding Rampage for? What year is this for you now?
I've been to every one. I think I was out 2 of them for injuries, but sorry, I wasn't at the very first one. I think the second one I was at, and I think it was 02, if I can remember correctly. But I've been at every one, just missed a couple, just due to injuries.
Would you say, has it got any kind of more stressful or bigger pressure as you've got older, coming competing at Rampage, or are you still in the same strong mindset that you've kind of always been in?
You know, always there's, you know, the industry is a pretty interesting place nowadays that, you know, it almost seems like the industry itself puts more pressures on the athlete just because, you know, all the sponsors you have expect so much more out of the athletes than they used to. Used to just be able to be cool and do rad stuff to get sponsored, but now they want so much out of you that, hey,
Darren Berrecloth, 3, 2, 1. Claw encore.
We'll do that again with the drone.
it does put a lot more pressure on that end, but I try not to really listen to any of that stuff, and you know, keep it the way I've always done it, and gone out and had fun. And if I stomp what I want to stomp, then I'm stoked, and I can care less
Yeah, so it's like riding Rampage for yourself.
Yeah,
go out there,
like,
enjoy it. Don't let the pressure affect how you ride or how you build or anything else.
Yeah, it's unfortunate the industry tries to put pressure on you, but at the end of the day, if I succumb to that pressure and end up riding it because I have to, that's when I'm not having fun, and that's when I shouldn't be riding it. So I've always just ridden events and done things because I want to, and I want to do it for myself. And, yeah, you want to stoke people out that support you, but at the same time, it's you want them to be partners with you because you do things because you're passionate about it.
Yeah, which is for sure the best way to be.
Absolutely. Once you lose that passion, it turns into a job, and that's not my scene.
Do you think experience has got a lot to answer for in terms of Rampage? You've kind of got a lot of younger riders now coming into Rampage who say live locally or are prepared to kind of really put their life on the line to get the results, the coverage, to kind of get better sponsorship and pursue their career. Do you think it's like a mixture of kind of having balls, or would you say it's more mindset and experience of coming out on top at Rampage?
Well, Rampage is it's an interesting beast, just because the biggest factor that screwed me over the last couple of years actually has just been Mother Nature. The wind. It's all the preparation, all the great mindset you can have in your corner, and you just get absolutely screwed over by a freaking wind gust that blows you off your line, or it takes away your confidence. There's just so many elements to this event that so many people don't even come close to understanding. So a lot of luck has to fall into place on top of your preparation, your training, and your skills to make a good result at this event. So there's a lot more going into it than people think, but just like, oh, that guy's badass, just a good line. It's so much more to it than that.
It's Aaron Chase, Rebel athlete, GoPro athlete. From your point of view, is it real good to see Darren I think he's 40 now, still competing at Rampage?
Of course. I was thinking earlier too, like you've got guys like a Darren Berrecloth. It's tough to keep that mental game going.
Do you think experience wins over kind of confidence and balls and tricks in a place like Rampage?
No way. I think anything goes. I think you can have a hot day and anybody can take it.
Have you been doing any like dedicated training or spending more time when you're down home, like coming up to Rampage?
Yeah, I started to. And then I went to Red Bull Hardline, and I ended up getting injured. So once again, rolling into Rampage, I basically had to curb my training and practice that I had planned, which was basically a month and a half of good heavy riding, tricks, jumps, all sorts of training stuff. Had to curb all that, just kind of relax and chill and let my body heal, which is not the best way to go into Rampage, but it almost feels like I'm used to it, because I think probably like 4 or 5 Rampages I've been injured rolling into it, and
always done relatively well and kind of rode well at least.
Yeah, like just kind of held it together and done the best I could, did pretty decent.
How do you find like the balance between now? Obviously, you've got a child and a partner. Like, are you managing to balance all that pretty well?
Yeah, I'm the type of dude that takes way too much on than I should. I'm the kind of guy that likes to be busy and like to get after it. So the challenge of time-wise, riding your bike, family duties, life, other business opportunities that I try to pursue is, it's definitely a challenge, but I think I do a pretty decent job at it. But it's definitely a big challenge, and I think, everyone can do better at that.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, there's very rarely you meet a person like, oh, I can freaking kill it at my freaking schedule and my timing,
Yeah, you seem to be one of the busiest guys in mountain biking, like ever. You always have been. You've always been super proactive. So it's always been interesting to see how you kind of balance it all, like with the business side as well, and filming projects and kids. It's like, it's interesting to see from a kind of outsider's perspective how you manage it all.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just gotta take it with a grain of salt
and do what you can.
And do what you can, and definitely the film stuff, especially this year. I just finished like 2 big projects, and I'm ourselves. So yeah, it's the film projects have been taking a lot of my time and effort, and you know, but with that being said, I love it. You know, I really appreciate watching good films, so I really persevere trying to make good film projects just because I appreciate it when someone else does it, you know.
That's been like a major part of your career, really, hasn't it? The kind of media side of riding, as well as contests. You've always had like a major focus on video content and even producing your own videos, haven't you?
Yeah, it's you know, I've been fortunate enough to be able to work with some of the best in the industry in terms of cinematographers, filmmakers, etc., etc. So that's definitely helped me out a ton. But at the same time, it's taught me a ton as well in terms of, you know, 15 years ago, I never would have thought that I'd be making my own movie, you know, with my brother. But at the same time, here we are. You know, we've learned a lot over the years just from working with some of the best people in the industry, and you know, it's pretty hard not to absorb a lot of it.
Where's it going to be put out? Is it going to be?
It'll be sold through Danny at the Orchard.
Okay.
He's going to be distributed, so it'll be pretty much everywhere. Yeah, like your usual platforms, like Pink Bike will pick it up and premiere and help promote and all that good stuff.
What runs are you riding today, Darren?
Pretty classic Kong runs. Maybe do some Bordeauxer.
Well, we'll let you go and ride some bikes now and concentrate on riding instead of talking.
Time to test out my new whip. First ride on it. Should be fun.
There's Darren.
All right, buddy.
So Darren's just getting the new Hero 6 set up.
Yeah. This thing's awesome.
Okay, have a good run.
Yeah, bud.
See you at the bottom.
Okay.
Just finished watering and buffing stuff up and making sure everything's ready to practice on. I think we're looking pretty good though on our line. Darren and Tyler both rode a bunch of it. Just finishing touches now.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I think that thing. What did you say?
Pretty good.
Yeah. I hit it.
Slower.
I think slower into it and out of it.
Like I'm saying that that's plenty of speed.
Oh yeah.
I'm saying that was too fast, for sure.
Yeah.
How's he looking out there from your perspective?
He did 2 top to bottom runs this morning and I think he's starting to feel pretty comfortable.
Party Ridge! Boom it up! Buddy!
Here, Chris Kyle, Scottish local. What are you doing in Utah, Chris?
I have no idea what I'm doing here, man. Nah, No, I'm out here to check it out. Like, I got the opportunity to come out here and check it out like firsthand, and yeah, it's blown my mind away. Like, I usually watch it every year in the live stream, and to see how gnarly it was on that, to come here, it's actually completely different. It's on a whole other scale of gnarliness. Like, what these guys are doing it's mind blowing, you know, and it's insane to watch. I've been watching practice yesterday and today, and I'm literally on the edge of my seat like the whole time. I'm like, oh, like, and I went up, like, looked over one of the drops, and my knees, my stomach went. I was like, I can't believe they're actually, these guys are nuts, you know.
If someone took you a mountain bike, would you ride some of this stuff?
Not a chance.
You've known Darren Berrecloth for years and years and years. Do you think now he's got a little bit older, he's going to chill out a little bit or do less?
Nah, I think the claw is going to be the claw always, you know, so he's going to send it for sure.
It was almost like a little under-rotated down the hill. I like that, hipping down in. He's got a great like little tabletop off that drop. Look at that 3. Guy's just making it look way too easy. This is his crux move right here, jumping in on that turn. That's so make some noise for the claw.
The claw down here, top to bottom. Good to see it. Now you start looking at the scores. Cam in the top spot with a 90.33. And here comes Darren's score. The claw with an 80 into second place right there. That's a good score right there for Darren. He's got to be proud of himself. The legend right there. Let's hear it for the claw. Come on.
That's so close. I touched it.
He's going to be invited back next year. Please, he should end up the top 10 of the league. Well, and he had a Rampage up as well. And you know, there's
sure. Can I do
a couple other spots in that run where I know he's going to add to it. I mean, you just seen 360s out of there, and your first run, and you don't have to go back up again. I mean, you're just, that means you don't have to put your neck on the chopping block. Yeah, true that. So our dog, Ryan Howard, he's competed out here in Rampage before. He's going to give it another go. Got in this year. Ryan Howard up top, locked and loaded. Our next rider to drop in. Our dog Steve's for sure. Let's hear it for our dog. Put your hands together, everybody up here on the mountain for Virgin. Here comes Ryan Howard. So yeah, our dog's